Level 1. The volunteer. The notice is pinned to a board in a corridor that smells of boot polish and damp wool. United Kingdom Special Forces selection. Summer intake. Brecon beacons. Eligibility, minimum 3 years service, under 32, commanding officer recommendation required. No promise, no pitch, no incentive beyond the fact that it exists and you are reading it. You've served 3 years in second par. You've done Helmand. You know what fear is. And still, something about the plainness of that notice unsettles you. Because it doesn't want you. It informs you that a door is open. You decide to walk through it. Your sergeant major signs the paperwork without a word. That silence will stay with you longer than any speech ever could. Level 2. The hills. You arrive at the infantry battle school in Bergen in October with 124 other men. Paratroopers. Royal Marines. Engineers. A signaller who looks too calm to be trusted. Every man in the room has a beret, a deployment, and the quiet belief he's hard enough. The directing staff explain the program in tones so flat they sound bored. They will observe. They will say nothing. You carry your Bergen up Penway fan, 886 meters, into horizontal rain. The wind pushing against your chest like a hand that doesn't want you there. The load increases daily. 35 pounds becomes 63 with rifle and water. At each checkpoint, a D's marks your card and gives you the next grid reference. No words. No indication of pace. The silence is the point. Because on a patrol behind enemy lines, there is no sergeant to push you. There is only the compass and whatever you have left. On day 6, a man who ran 3 marathons sits down and doesn't get up. Not physically broken. Something else broke first. You file that image and keep walking. The long drag, 64 kilometers, 63-pound Bergen, solo, under 24 hours. You finish. Nobody tells you if it was good enough. That's the nature of the work. Level 3. The continuation. You passed. You are not yet SAS. 14 weeks at Stirling Lines, Hereford. Advanced weapons, AK-47 variants, PKM machine guns, RPG systems, every weapon your enemies carry. Because in denied territory you may need captured ammunition when your own runs dry. Then Bruni, 6 weeks in equatorial heat that strips 12 pounds from your body and teaches you hard routine, no talking, no fires, no movement except when tactically necessary. Then combat survival. A hunter force chases you for 72 hours. When caught deliberately, the interrogators begin. Stress positions, white noise, screaming, charm, threat. You give 4 things: name, rank, number, date of birth. Everything else, I cannot answer that question. For hours. The men who break are returned to their units. You don't break. The beige beret arrives. It weighs almost nothing. The winged dagger weighs everything. Level 4. The trooper. You are badged. Your rank is trooper, regardless of the corporal's stripes you wore in 2 para. The SAS strips rank because it strips ego. Competence determines authority. You're assigned to D Squadron, Air Troop. The badged men watch you with assessment, not suspicion, because selection tests endurance, and the squadron tests judgment, the cold kind required when the nearest reinforcement is a helicopter 2 hours away. Free fall from 25,000 feet in oxygen masks over Wiltshire. Live CQB drills in the killing house at Hereford, rounds inches from colleagues' heads, because trust in a hit must live in your hands, not your mind. Pashto. 3 afternoons a week. Nobody told you to study it. Nobody had to. Level 5. The patrol. Helmand Province, 2007. Your 4-man patrol inserts by helicopter 15 kilometers from a Taliban compound, walks in at night over mined terrain, and establishes a hide site 400 meters from the target. 4 men in a hole for 72 hours. You log every face, every weapon, every pattern of movement. The intelligence you transmit determines whether a 60-man assault force hits that compound next week and whether they come home. You extract on foot. 36 hours later, you're drinking tea in the squadron lines as if nothing happened. There is no record of what you saw. You file it somewhere it can't touch your resolve. It stays there. It doesn't stay quiet. Level 6. The corporal. You lead a 4-man patrol. You plan your own operations, route, timeline, contingencies, extraction, communication schedule. The troop commander approves or sends you away to fix it. He doesn't fix it for you. That culture began with Stirling in 1941 and has survived every institutional attempt to erode it. Your squadron rotates onto counterterrorism standby. Black kit. Respirators. MP5s, frame charges, stun grenades. You train in the killing house daily until the entry sequence lives in your feet. Because when the call comes, and Operation Nimrod proved it always comes, there is no time to think. Only to execute. Your daughter is 4. She draws pictures of soldiers. She doesn't know what this soldier does. Nobody talks about this part. Level 7. The Sergeant. 6 years in. Northern Ireland. Covert surveillance in South Armagh. Civilian clothes. A concealed Glock. A safe house for 4 months. Watching Republican active service units close enough to hear, but never close enough to move against, without burning everything. Iraq, 2006. Alongside Delta Force in Baghdad, the high-tempo targeting cycle. Hit a compound at 0200. Gather phones, hard drives, documents. Feed it to analysts 200 meters away. Hit the next node the following night. Repeat. The operational boundary between the SAS and Delta effectively disappeared. Same briefing rooms, same helicopters, same body count on both sides. You carry shrapnel in your left thigh from a device in Basra. Your right knee is cartilage damage from a decade of loaded marches. You tell the medical officer you're fine. He writes it down. You both know what it means. Your wife stopped waiting up somewhere between the second Iraq tour and the third missed Christmas. You expected to feel something when you understood that. What you felt was relief that the conversation didn't have to happen again. Level 8. The Warrant Officer. You are the Regimental Sergeant Major of 22 SAS. The senior enlisted man in an organization that has existed since 1941. You walk the corridors at Stirling Lines, and every photograph is a man who served where you serve. Some in desert fatigues. Some in the black assault gear from Operation Nimrod, May 5th, 1980. 11 minutes, 5 terrorists killed. All but 1 hostage freed. Some didn't come home. You maintain the traditions they built. You ensure the men who follow are worthy of what they inherit. That young man who stopped at a notice board at 25, you look for him sometimes. You find it difficult to locate him in the face in the mirror. He's still in there. You filed him away a long time ago for operational reasons. Level 9. The Exit. You leave quietly. No parade. A function in the sergeant's mess. Drinks with men you've served alongside for 15 years, men whose children know your face. The goodbyes are understated. The handshakes last longer than necessary. You take a contract in the Gulf, close protection, 600 a day, against the 35,000 annual salary you earned as a trooper. You didn't join for the money. You cannot explain what you joined for to anyone who wasn't there. The only people who understand the specific frequency of your experience are the men you served with. You see them at reunions, at funerals, at quiet pubs in Hereford, where the barman knows not to ask questions. There is no record of most of what you did. Your family will never know. You carry it alone, not as suffering, just as the permanent shape of what this life made of you. Level 10. The Cycle. Right now, somewhere in the British Army, a lance corporal in the parachute regiment is standing in a corridor that smells of boot polish and damp wool. He's 25. He's done a tour in Helmand or Estonia. He's fit and restless in a way his chain of command recognizes, because they've seen it before, in the men who eventually find their way to Hereford. He's reading a notice on a board. He doesn't know what it costs. The marriages that don't survive. The children who grow up with a father present in body, but still somehow in a hide site in Helmand. The shrapnel. The ruined knees. The tinnitus from breaching charges no hearing protection stops. The faces on the wall at Stirling Lines. He doesn't know any of this. He knows the date. He knows where to report. He writes his name on the list. The regiment doesn't chase anyone. It opens a door and waits to see who walks through. The cycle begins.